There are a few basic rules which must be observed when using the GT Series X instruments. When introducing GT Series X rotary instruments, always be certain that the proper speed and torque settings are being used. 300 RPM is recommended. Torque settings vary depending on the instrument. A specific range can be found in the tip card that comes with your motor. These instruments, like all rotary instruments, must be used with irrigants such as sodium hypochlorite or an aqueous EDTA solution in the canal space. Light, continuous apical pressure is a must. GT files should never be used in a pecking manner. Take the spinning instrument into the canal space. Let it work until it quits cutting. Then, while still spinning, remove it. Regardless of the initial canal size, the GT Series X instrument sequence begins with the 20 series. And regardless of size, when an instrument stops advancing apically, remove it and examine the flutes for debris. Then, reinsert the instrument and allow it to work further into the canal. This sequence is followed until working length is reached. Upon reaching working length with the first 20 series GTX file, another close examination of the tip flutes is in order. The key to determining the final preparation size with the GT Series X technique is interpreting the debris pattern at the end of that file. If those tip flutes are clean, this indicates that little shaping has occurred in the apical region and a move to a larger tip size is in order. If the tipmost flutes of the instrument are filled with debris, the canal can be considered to have an appropriate apical size. Once the apical size has been determined, the rest of the canal shape is considered. In smaller routes, an 06 taper is generally sufficient. In cases where there is a lack of debris in the tip flutes of the first 20 series file cut to length, a move to the 3006 is appropriate to create more apical shape. Occasionally, as in necrotic apically resorbed canals, a 4006 file will be necessary to finish the shape. In severely curved canals, it may be necessary to use the 2004 file to cut to length. If in the unusual event that the 2004 file resists cutting to length, a number 20 nickel titanium hand K file should easily achieve length. The 2004 GTX instrument should then follow. When that 04 tapered instrument has reached working length, it should then be easier to bring the 06 tapered instrument back to complete the shape. In particularly difficult canals, it may be appropriate to limit the taper to an 04 tapered instrument. This is a rare situation. Most highly curved canals that resist being shaped with an 06 tapered rotary file are easily finished with an 06 hand GT file. In larger routes, an 08 taper is often ideal. In these cases, the 3008 is taken into the canal. Upon reaching length, a decision to move to a 4008 can be made based on the debris pattern at the file tip. No tip debris equals incomplete apical shape. Apical debris equates to a completed apical shape. In some very large canals, still more shaping is required. In these cases, Profile GT .12 tapered accessory files with 50, 70, or 90 tip sizes may be employed. A straight line access to each canal is essential to beginning any endodontic procedure. The line angle extensions cut in the access cavity should be such that files in canals are not deflected by the access cavity wall. Proper access will vary from tooth to tooth. Always negotiate the canals with a lubricant, such as ProLube in the pulp chamber, to minimize the chance of apical blockage with pulp tissue. Establish apical patency with small hand files, starting with an 08K file in small canals. Begin with a 10K file in medium and large canals. Always work up to a size 15 or 20 at length before beginning rotary instrumentation.